Why in particular do you think is this demand to shut down Al Jazeera significant?
In essence, Al Jazeera has been a competing authority to the government propaganda and information put out by these governments, and in offering a view that differs from the government positions on a number of issues, effectively is providing challenging information to what the Saudi, Emirati, and Egyptian governments want their publics to believe.
And Sarah, why is it important, do you think, broadly, especially in this region, to have, broad news coverage, or as you put it, kind of competing narratives, if you like?
Well, it's not just in this region that's necessary. That's necessary the world over. And whatever your opinion of Al Jazeera, whether you find it tilted one way or the other, the reality is that Al Jazeera's news coverage transformed the Middle East, because it was the first time that all of the Arab region, all of the Arab world had access to information and news in Arabic that was covering the entire region.
And Sarah, Saudi Arabia and other countries involved in the blockade against Qatar, they argue that this media coverage is actually a destabilising factor in the region. What's your view on that?
Well, to the extent that information is a destabilizing factor, then so be it. News and information may well be destabilizing. We just issued a report about Emirati-backed forces and the Emirates themselves torturing, detaining, and abusing people in Yemen. Is that potentially destabilizing? Will people be outraged and react and respond to that? Probably. But it's important that that information gets out. It may well be that information is destabilizing, but it's not reporting information that's destabilizing. It's the information itself that's destabilizing.
And Sarah, this other element, and it was mentioned, I think, in that statement there, is, being, if you like, a voice for the voiceless, to make sure that all people have a chance to get their stories heard. And how important would you say that is?
Well, it's extremely important. And of course, we rely and hope that media is fair and balanced and impartial in its coverage. They may not always be the ideal that we want them to be, but no state has the right or the authority to shut down or silence media whose viewpoints it doesn't agree with, much less to order another country to do that. What's shocking and appalling about this is that Saudi, Bahrain, Egypt, they're not satisfied stifling the media in their own countries. They're actually trying to force other countries to submit to the same kind of censorship, to close down other stations. I mean, imagine if the United States ordered the BBC to shut down because it didn't like the news and information that the BBC was reporting. It's just ridiculous.
And Sarah, are you hopeful that, as it's suggested in the statement, that other news organisations, other journalists, if you like, will put together a rally cry, if you like, defending all these things that we're talking about, the right for people to have their story heard, the right to, counter narratives everywhere?
Well, I mean, I certainly hope so, and I certainly hope that global journalism unites to defend its industry, its work, its operations. But, it's really hard to understand the mentality and the thinking of these Saudi, Emirati, Egyptian government officials. Nearly every single one of these government officials that I've met with have always had Al Jazeera blasting in the background in their offices. So the notion that they want to stifle anybody else from hearing this news and information is, just laughable if it wasn't so tragic.
Sarah Lee Whitson there joining me on Skype from New York. Sarah, thank you.
Thank you.